Alright. So we have an atomic tank POV of Black Alice and what is this? ROE Elite. You got two lower level healers. If you do need a healer, if you do need two healers, you're losing a little bit of damage, but that's okay. It's whatever. It's cool. Nobody really cares that much anymore. They just want to get through content. So right here, excuse me. So right here, you'll have me die in like a few seconds. Paying attention to your surroundings. I think it's like one of the only few times I've died from lightning because I just was not paying attention. But as you see later in the video, I do keep my distance and so on and so forth. But right here is just unfortunate, you know. Moving forward, after that I get picked up and we continue to go on. So just let it happen. Oh shit, who the fuck just killed me? As you can see, only 2 people died. Right when I get up, the first thing I do is try to go for a shield. Oh, actually I lied. Sometimes if you do want to get aggro back really quickly, you can go straight for a shield, but since I do like popping my immunities and getting my aura up, I think that's pretty important. I did go for it. Speaking that, she was still constantly attacking regardless. You'll see people flying in this raid a lot, and the reason is because she has a ceiling. Excuse me again, I guess I'm sleepy. But she has a ceiling of how high she's gonna go and how high she's gonna place things. Most, if not all, except for the Ankhs, place lower than her. The little electric balls that she throws out place lower than her. Those little light balls place lower than her. Everything places lower, so you shouldn't have to worry too much about that if you are a DPS. However, you do have to worry about if you set up one of your teammates for an Ankh above them. That does become a problem, so just keep that in mind. Besides that, I am spec'd as Dom and healing, not healing, health. Dom and health, which is the best bet for atomic. You run atomic sort of like a earth and fire mix. So right here you see me face tanking her a little bit in that corner. That little like inn right there by the stairs is a really good spot to tank her, because the crew can just kind of poke their heads around the corner if they need be, or so on and so forth. As you can see, the guy in the red just running around doing great pickups and so on and so forth. As we continue, she starts placing these Ankhs out. Those are very important to pay attention to. You won't be able to tank them all. I think the highest I've ever seen one hit is 3/4 of a million. So I was on fire and I was like, oof. But yeah, so you don't have any extra healing. But if you are fire or rage, I would suggest using the lasso and just pull her with that or taunt her with that. I think it pretty much works as a pull for bosses at this point. But it works very well against bosses who like to move around when they do. She should be placing more Ankhs on you though than the team, due to the fact that she is supposed to be aggroed on you for those heavy, harder hits. You can get close to her and keep like a closer range if you feel more comfortable, but however I don't. Due to everybody constantly dying and wiping, and it's so easy for the group to wipe in ROE, really is. So I figured just keep the distance, keep the range, and just keep ranging her. So that way, like, you can take a lot more hits, obviously, than a DPS would, but you're not DPSing. So something to keep in mind is when you are tanking her, you do want to be in kind of the same spot. Even when she does move far away, you want to be in the same realm of areas. Try not to tank her behind people because they will end up soaking in the damage. Pretty much, if not all of her damage is line of sight. So just keep that in mind. Area effect on line of sight, but mainly line of sight. As you can see, she's moving around. She had to hit you with that. It does trace, but it is a line of sight move, so just keep that going. The more you learn how to move around with the tanking in this raid, the better off you'll be. It's not. Oh, actually, that's kind of the theme for this DLC is moving around. Even in ISIS and the God's Eye Elite or whatever the name of the alert is, you do have to move around as every other role except for the tank. The tank can stay pretty stationary for the most part, but everybody has to move around. And Underworld, absolutely, and Underworld, Nero's Underworld or whatever it's called, and the other 8 mana Elite Raid or Elite Plus Raid or Raid in general, you do have to move around due to the lava being pretty much a one-shot. So that is more or less what the gist of this entire DLC is. But for tanking especially, just tank away. You don't have to be right up on her how I am right now. You see I'm taking hits, and you're supposed to soak in the hits, don't get me wrong, for the group to do whatever they need to. But there are certain instances where you're just going to keep beating yourself in the head, and they're not going to have a tank. So as you can see right here, face tanking does not always go well. For the fact of, if I would have stayed right next to her, I would have got hit with those little balls. And she does have a lot of effects that can cause you to die pretty quickly. So, and especially in Elite Plus, she would just sit there and laugh and one-shot you. So you just have to keep your distance and keep moving around. When you realize there's not that many people left in the group, you do close the distance just a little bit, but you make sure you stay steady and you keep kind of supplying the group. One thing that she definitely does is for sure bounce around a lot. Faust does too. Faust is a different story. You're not supposed to really face tank him, because once you crowd him, he does this kind of back off move where he pretty much just kills like the closest DPS regardless. So Faust is another boss you want to keep at a very wide, long distance, but not too far. So you want him kind of like that mid-range, but you want to be backing up as you see him getting closer. These bosses do telegraph quite a bit, so they don't hit you with anything crazy. It's not like ISIS, where she hits you with a invisible one-shot and vines for no reason. So yeah, besides that, this is pretty much it. We sit here, we go through it, we beat it. I ended up putting on an orbital just for shits and giggles, because she had like the lowest bout of health. But yeah, hope you guys had fun.
Hone your skills. Look, boy, you in the danger room. Yeah, you in the danger room. Come on now. It's like a dream. Everything moving fast, but you moving slow. Chase the tempo, watch, we on time. Hey, now you know. Listen to the rhythm we giving them, we bringing it with passion. Smashing, you should just move to my groove. Case in point, watch how I improve. Then the automator is ready, you know we're hitter, a music motivator, and I'ma show you later. But right now we getting down. You ground, cause I surround your sound with rhythm that's raw rhymes that really will get ya. Do your silly crew like a Philly and I split ya. Hit your hard style showing out. Exhale long and blow 'em out. Yeah, you in the danger room, come on now. Yeah, you in the danger room, come on now. Look, boy, you in the danger room. Hone your skills.
That's how you fucking